Alexander's invasions. When Alexander the Great arrived at the edge of the Persian Empire, he wanted to keep going. He wanted to conquer all of India. Alexander's army began to invade India. Alexander learned how to use elephants in combat, and his soldiers won most of their battles. But the Indians who fought against Alexander were fierce warriors as well. Even though the soldiers from Macedonia won many battles, more and more of them died claiming these victories. Finally, Alexander's army mutinied. After a particularly difficult battle in which over 1,000 soldiers were killed or badly wounded, the army refused to go any further. "Be content with what you have," they told Alexander. "We don't want to go on dying to make your empire bigger." Alexander didn't want to stop. He stayed in his tent, sulking. He refused to see anyone, hoping that his army would change its mind. But the men were firm. They would not fight in India any longer. Finally, Alexander agreed. He gave up trying to take over the rest of India. Instead, he put his energy into running the huge kingdom he already had. Alexander wanted the people of the future to remember what a great ruler he was, and he knew the cities last for years and years. So he built new cities all over his empire. He named many of these cities after himself. Alexandria. Some of these cities still stand today, just as Alexander intended. They remind us that Alexander the Great was the greatest conqueror of ancient times and ruled over the hugest empire that the world had ever seen. The most famous city, called Alexandria, is in Egypt. Alexandria was built near the Nile River and the Mediterranean Sea, so that merchants could reach it easily by ship. Alexander himself marked out the city's walls, but he died before he could see any of the city's buildings. But after his death, Alexandria became the greatest city in the world. Many famous scholars and writers lived in Alexandria. It became a center for art, music, and learning. Today, Alexandria is still a big and important city. Just outside Alexandria was the biggest lighthouse in the world. It was called the Pharos, and it was 330 feet tall. Ships could see it from miles away. They used its light to sail safely into the harbor of Alexandria. Do you remember reading about the 7 wonders of the ancient world? These were the 7 amazing sights of ancient times. We learned that the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the Great Pyramid are 2 of the 7 wonders. And the Pharos is the 3rd. No one had ever seen a lighthouse as large as this one. The Pharos was destroyed long, long ago. No pictures of the Pharos survived from ancient times, but only a few years ago, divers found huge chunks of stone at the bottom of Alexandria's harbor. This stone may be all that is left of the Pharos.